Hello and welcome back to the Cinch YouTube channel, where today we have another Hyundai with us, but this is the i30N in DCT automatic form. That means it has a fast changing gearbox to go with its 280 horsepower engine and 19-inch wheels wrapped in very sticky Pirelli tyres. I think this is going to be rapid around our circuit. I think it might actually trouble some of the fastest hot hatches we've ever timed here, so let's find out. But before we hit the track, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. This DCT gearbox on this i30N makes it feel really, really quick. I ran a manual gearbox i30N a few years ago, bit curved there, a few years ago, and I loved it. It was amazing. I loved the exhaust noise. I thought it handled beautifully, but I have to admit, it never felt that quick. It did feel quick, but then you jump in a Civic Type R, for example, and you'd be like, well, okay, that thing is quite a bit quicker. But now with this DCT gearbox, with 8 ratios to play with, you've only got 6 in that manual, but with 8 ratios, the gears can be tighter, and of course, it's an automatic. It's going to change quicker than a soft, squidgy living thing trying to kick a left pedal as you move a gear lever forward and back. So it's quicker all round. In fact, it's half a second quicker to 62 at 5.4 seconds, which is very, very fast for a front-wheel drive car. With 280 horsepower, 400 newton meters of torque, it's got mid-range grunt as well. And now we've got these extra gears to play with. It really does feel nice and punchy. As I come into Yentwood here, a really tight corner, stamp on the brakes, click down the gears, let the auto do the work for me. It just stops fantastically well. Really, really good. This is, with the auto, 35 kilograms heavier than the manual, but it's still well under 1.5 tons. So yeah, I know, for those of us who've loved hot hatches for decades, and those of us who enjoy older hot hatches like myself, well, yeah, 1.5 tons is heavy, but you know, this is quite a nice place to be. It's luxurious, it's comfortable. There's lots of space in the back. It's got a big boot. This is a safe car. You know, it's a modern safety spec car. So it's got a lot of things to carry around, and you get not only adjustable steering, you can adjust the way the engine responds in your end modes, but you can also adjust how the gearbox reacts, of course, because it's automatic. So you can make it quicker or slower on the up and down shift. The dampers as well, so you can stiffen them. On the smaller i20N, you can't stiffen the dampers, it's passive damping. This car, you can stiffen them up or you can soften them off. It's quite firm in all modes, but on track, the stiffness of those dampers really pays dividends, because you can play with the balance of the car nicely, and you can just start to tip the car in, get it rotated, and then that helps the front axle with its ELSD, it's electronically controlled, limited slip diff, put that power down more effectively. Let's just say you can tip it into a bend, get on the power, and manage that power really effectively on corner exit. It just means you can come into a bend like this in 4th gear, tip it in. Let me look at the dial. What torque are we using? About 300 newton meters there. It's quite a lot of torque to manage. I had steering lock on, and it put the power down very nice indeed. Stamp on the brakes. You've got to use the pedal pressure. That's why I like Hyundais. These performance Hyundais, they don't over-assist their brakes. You have to stamp on the pedal to get it to stop, but when you do, you're rewarded with such good braking performance. I mean, it's just so effective, really enjoyable. Shall I get the race logic out? Let's see how quickly this thing goes on the V-Box. Whew, that was quite a lot of effort to get into the 122s. This actually had set an identical time to the i20N, a 123.08, and I just couldn't live with that. I knew it could go a bit faster, so I stayed out there a couple more laps and I managed to get into the 122s, but it was a bit of an effort, and I think the reason is because this thing does weigh quite a bit more. Now, the tyres have loads of grip, the brakes are really very good, but the i20N just feels so light and so nimble around the track. I can get on the power and hit the brakes really hard, whereas in this, after a few corners, there is a small amount of management. You do have to start thinking about how much throttle application you put on, otherwise it just starts to struggle. But otherwise, it's just a really fast and really grippy car. But yeah, didn't get anywhere near that Mountune modified Focus ST, although I'm not too surprised. That car had more power and, admittedly, little stickier tyres as well. This thing has done very well, and it's just pipped its little brother on this track. On a longer, wider track, I think this thing would be quite a bit faster because it would just monster down the straights. But on our twisty Rockingham, it's really, really close, isn't it? Anyway, I enjoyed it no matter what, and I hope you did too. If you did, don't forget to click the like button and, of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are back at Rockingham very soon with another fast car, many more fast cars actually.